Awesome. So we are now live on YouTube. Everybody, today we have a special guest, Kelly Wheeler, that's going to be giving us a fantastic training on how to capture your ideal homeowner to win your listings. So Kelly, go ahead and take it away.
You got it. All right, guys. So today we want to talk about, and this is going to be a very condensed session today. We normally go an hour or more. I'm going to pack a lot of Jedi level stuff for you guys in the next 15 to 30 minutes, and then open it up for questions if you have it. So let's talk about the trifecta of lead generation and lead conversion. We've talked about this for those of you that have been with us, you're following us, you have to pardon me, I'm getting a cold. We've talked about follow-ups. We've talked about how you are going to convert leads, and there are processes and systems. It's not just generating a Facebook lead and getting 100 of them. Suddenly, mysteriously, they're going to call you and say, "Oh, can you come list my house?" Right? I mean, we've got to have systems in place to facilitate the stuff that you're bringing in to get these appointments. And Bryan has taught since I've met him about speed to lead, right? When you get a lead, call the lead, get it scheduled, find out what's going on. Is this a long term? Is this a medium term? Whatever that is, and then get them into your pipeline. If you want to know the secret to agents doing 4 and 5 deals a month, they have systems. They've got follow-up. They've got it going on when it comes to managing the assets, the leads that they're bringing in. So today, I want to share with you something that I just started doing not too long ago, and I really like it, and it's super, super inexpensive. Those of you, and let me open up the chat. William, if you can help me with the chat. On the chat, drop yes or no. How many of you currently use Remind? And no, I'm not training on Remind today, but how many of you currently have and use Remind? Just drop a yes or no. And there's enough of us on here. Just go to chat real quick. Yes or no. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Merlene says, yepper. Jim's yep. Nadia, have, but don't. That's understandable. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to share with you the lead source, in my opinion, you guys should be going after right now. Is everybody aware of what's going on with the housing market, right? If you're a real estate agent, you need to. What about interest rates? While we're seeing homes no longer getting multiple offers like they did 6 months ago, and you list it today and it's sold tomorrow, we're starting to see the length of how long they stay on market is now getting bigger. And guys, I've been talking to a lot of agents in Texas and California. We're starting to see offers come in at or now starting to be a little below asking price. So there is a shift coming. Now, it's still a seller's market, but there's a shift coming. But with the financial crisis, I mean, God dang, I spent $40 today on my car and got a half a tank of gas, right? People can't get baby formula, right? Builders are now starting to go after realtors and like, hey, we'll work with you again. Guys, if you want to know, if you want to really know what's going on in the market, is there a shift? Builders are starting to reach out to us. I'm getting emails from builders now. Hey, we've got new models. We've got this new program. You know, builders that were offering 1% or 2%, even one builder was offering $2,500 commission. They're now back up to 3%. Bring us a buyer and, we're going to work with you now. Things are changing, but here's what I know. People are getting afraid. People that have a lot of investments, whether in real estate property or stock market, are seeing negative reaction. Guys, I've lost over $100,000 in the stock market in the last 16 months, right? And I'm small potatoes. Think about these guys that own 1, 2, and 3 investment properties, and they're getting a little scared because of what's going on with the market. House prices are not coming down. Rent prices are staying steady, but the ability for people to pay their rent is in question. We're starting to see more upticks. Guys, I get on average 100 plus new pre-foreclosure leads every single month here in Central Florida in the Lake County area. So there's 2 different niches that I really think you guys should be working: pre-foreclosures and absentee homeowners. And you're going to start to see a lot of training on absentee homeowners, right? So, it comes down to, how do you find the data? Well, we've trained here on Least ROI and be known. We've trained. There's lots of videos we have you can go and look at. And I'm sure if you email William, he'll probably send you the YouTube videos on Remind. But Remind is a great source to go out and find absentee homeowners. So I'm going to share my screen. And I want to share with you 2 different softwares that you can use. Now, understand, if you do not have Remind as part of your MLS subscription, it does run about $200 a month. I have found that you're getting about 50 to 60% of the actual leads are coming in with email addresses. And I'm finding that those email addresses are not, for the most part, they're not like 100% accurate. So if you get 1,000 leads in Remind and you get 600 email addresses, probably 300 of them are going to be good. It's still 300 emails, right? So you can do email campaigns, direct mail, phone calls. But Remind, again, is $200 a month if you're not using it. And for a lot of agents, that's a lot of money. So I'm going to give you Remind, and then something else I'm using called Batch Leads. And I'm going to show it to you in a minute, that does what Remind does, but at a higher level with much better data. So without further ado, let me share my screen. So what I've done, guys, before this meeting started is I went ahead and pulled, you're looking at my Remind right now. I pulled a list of absentee homeowners, okay? And there they are right there. Is this the one? There we go. So what I'm going to do, and let me see if this is it. This might be the wrong list. I don't want 2,500. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. So what I did is I went into, and let me get rid of that. I went into my search and I went into this area right here. Okay. And I asked Remind to give me a list of all absentee in and absentee out of state. I asked for it to give me home equity of at least $50,000 or higher. And then I also said, give me a sales score of high, right? High means that Remind is saying these particular homeowners have a higher probability or a higher predictive probability to sell in the next 1 to 6 months, right? So if I take the high, and guys, in my area right here, 106 absentee homeowners with a high probability of selling. And then I also said that I don't want any homes that are currently listed, right? So if I get rid of this and I apply it, this number is going to go to like 4,600 people. That's why one of the things about Remind is I like the fact that you can do a predictive high sales score. So what I did is I further went in and got rid of, some of these are listed. I got rid of and guys, check this out, 106 results, right? In this area. Now, when I pulled my list, and let me see if I can find it, only 34 came back unlisted. So guys, let me show you what I'm talking about. 106 absentee homeowners. That means 60 of these guys have already listed with a real estate agent in the last 45 days. So there are 30, whatever the number was, that are ready to go and ready to start marketing. So 35 out of 106, that's telling me you need to go after absentee homeowners. You need to be going after these guys, right? And so here's the list from Remind, and I've got all the data. I've got address. It even gives me the address of where they're living for my mailing. Let me see if I can get to, where are you? It's got equity, sales price. I'm looking for the emails.
It's going to be at the very beginning.
Hold on, owner. What do we got here?
Oh, wow. Mine usually come up at the very beginning. Yours is at the end right now. Owner email EC, I believe.
There we go. Okay, hold on. There we go. So there's the email addresses for those 34, and it's giving me like a whole bunch of them. Some of them I don't even have an email. So I've got maybe 30% on Remind that have an email. Now, why is that important? Guys, when you are marketing, there are what I call the trifecta of listing: direct mail, email, and phone calls. Now, I don't personally want to call these people right at the offset of getting the leads. I want them to get 2 postcards and about 3 emails from me so that when I call, there is a high probability that they've seen something from me. And even though it's a cold call, it's more like a warm call. But this is the data that I get from Remind. And I can sort this data to come up with a mailing list. I'm not going to mail a card to the home that's absentee. I'm going to mail it to where they currently reside. I'm going to be using QR codes and videos on my card. So I'm going to create a video specifically for the absentee homeowner. Hey, this is Kelly, the real estate ninja. And the reason for this card that you got, and thank you for clicking, scanning the QR code, is you've got a home that's in Florida and you don't live there. Have y'all thought about selling in this market? It's still a seller's market, but we're starting to see home values tick down and interest rates going up, which is going to make it difficult for buyers to purchase homes like yours. And it's going to make it difficult as home prices go up and interest rates go up to get renters. So have you guys thought about selling? If so, call me at this number, and I would love to discuss with you what I think your current value is and blah, 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 whatever else, right? That's going to be a video on a QR code. So postcards with QR codes, email campaigns with a bomb video in the email. Hey, this is Kelly, the real estate ninja, right? And then in about 2 weeks, a phone call. As long as they're not on the do not call list, I'm going to call them. So let's get rid of this one. And this is Remind, guys. So it's very simple. You log in, you pick your area, and you go to the left and pick what your criteria. And there you go. But again, this predicates you spending $200 a month for this software. If you don't have access to it, that might be $200 a month that you could spend in other areas. Now I'm going to show you what I'm using now. And I have Remind. That's why you're seeing this. I actually have access to Remind, and I like Remind. But the data to me is just a little insufficient for a really good marketing campaign. Great data for direct mail. Perfect data. And I can unload tens of thousands. I can grab tens of thousands of these. So if you want to do a Facebook, a custom audience, holy moly. Bryan, unmute yourself. Let's talk real quick before I shift over to batch leads. If I want to go into an area and pull 10,000 people, and let's say only 60% had phone numbers and emails, that would be something we could upload into Facebook, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
And now you can start Facebook video ads to those leads, right? A video ad on Facebook is about 2 to 5 cents a lead or a view. So it's very inexpensive. That's where I think Remind would have a strong contender for marketing if you're heavy into Facebook ads and you want to do video ads and run those to those people. But here we go. That's Remind, guys. Now I'm going to show you a company called Batch Leads. This is very similar to Remind, but the data that I'm getting has a lot more emails coming through if I want them and phone numbers. And it allows me to take the data and get more niche specific, like absentee homeowners, expireds, people that own their home free and clear, pre-foreclosure. So what I did, guys, is I kind of took the same area that I had in a Remind, and I said, here's what I'm looking for. 5+ years ownership. I'm looking for, this one, I actually told it I wanted 45% equity. So anybody in this list of 2,500 people, they have at least 45% equity. Talk about getting very niche specific. So what happened is in this area, here's what I have. I have 33 expired homes. They do not do FSBO. So I still get my expired and FSBO primarily from My Plus leads. But look at this, guys. As an ancillary, I've got 33 expired homes. I've got 700 people in this list of 2,562 in my farm that own their home free and clear. Would that be, let me ask you this. Let me open up chat. Would free and clear be something you guys would want to have? Like you could, let's say you could go into an area and grab everybody that owned their home with no mortgage. Would that be a valuable list for you? Heck yeah. All right. So free and clear. Now here's the one right here, guys. On the Remind, I had 35 absentee homeowners. And of the 35, I think I had about maybe 12 emails, right? And some of the emails had multiple emails in it. So this one pulled 97 absentee homeowners. Cash buyers, 570 cash buyers. Now, Bryan, are you or William familiar with what the term cash buyer means when you're pulling real estate leads?
Yeah, someone that's got the available funds to purchase a home in cash versus getting a mortgage.
There you go. Cash buyers. Of the 2,500 people, I've got 570 that are possibility of being cash buyers. And then I've got 12 of them having tax defaults. There's your pre-foreclosures. So guys, right there, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different niches in this zip code, meeting my criteria of X amount of equity. These lists would be higher if I dropped the equity from 45 to 25 or 30%, but that's what I wanted, right? So let's look at the absentee homeowners. Here's the list that I pulled. Now, let me tell you about this. Actually, this one isn't. I'm sorry, I didn't pull the list yet. This one I'm going to tell you about in a minute. Here's the absentee homeowners. There they are. So what's going to happen, guys, is I can click in here and I can get details. I can go and scan all 97 and look and see what I want to keep. And there we go right there. This guy that owns the house is 48. He's got 3 people in the home. His income is $76,000. His net worth is $150,000. He's got some discretionary income. And now let's go and look at his mortgage. He had a mortgage in 1993 for $10,000. This guy, estimated value of the home is $463,000. He literally, he owns the home, right? That's somebody I would want to market to. That is an absentee homeowner right there, guys. I want to market to that guy. So there's the list of 97. All I have to do is basically add those to a list. And then here's what it's going to cost me to get all their information. So there's 97. Check this out, guys. 97. If I wanted to get emails and phones on all of those guys, it's $11. $11. And now I have a list of all the absentee homeowners in that area that I can start doing direct mail, email. Now, email, whatever CRM you have. I have Chime, and I've got an email that's really great for neighborhoods. So if I want to upload a neighborhood into my CRM, and a lot of you have KV Core, you upload that list into here and you can, boom, start them on an automatic. Now, if those of you that are with us that use our awesome Leads to ROI CRM, oh my gosh, a bunch of things you can do inside of our CRM. Get with William or Bryan, schedule a demo and let us show you what we can do inside of ours that you can't do inside of KV Core or even my Chime, right? But guys, imagine starting that campaign on these leads. So now email, we're going 2 to 3 to 4 emails a month. We're going to do a postcard campaign. So you want to see the postcards? Here's my postcards, guys, a 5-month campaign where I can take and change some of this content and make it specific to an absentee homeowner. The cards are already done. By the way, on my our postcard campaigns that you get inside of Leads to ROI, depending on what level you're at, these cards are free. You just have to pay the postage. And you can automate this. So I can literally take that list of absentee homeowners, bring them into Mailbox Power, call that list absentee homeowner 6/2/22. So I know that I got that list this month on the 2nd. And then all I need to do, once these cards are edited, once I've got my message on these cards typed for absentee, I literally, with one push of a button, I now take this entire list and boom, I'm now marketing to, let me go back here. I'm taking this list of 97 and they're going to get 5 cards from me in the next 3 to 4 months. They're going to get in the next 3 to 4 months, probably 10 to 15 emails. And guys, at some point, I'm going to pick up the phone. Hey, I want to see, this is Kelly. I notice you guys own a home you don't live in. Have you gotten a postcard from me? Or have you seen any? Oh, you have? Great, great. Do you have any questions, right? Of these 97, what if you could list 4 or 5 of them with just this very basic strategy? Because I just showed you, there's over, in Remind, there was 130. Of those 130, only 32 are available. The rest already are active on the MLS. Guys, absentee homeowners, they're listing right now. Same thing with pre-foreclosure. So again, guys, here is a really cool system. Now, this one, guys, instead of $200 a month, this one's $39 a month. Now, they have 3 different levels, but for a single agent, you start at $39, and they charge 12 to 14 cents to what they call skip trace. And that's where you go in and you tell the software, I want their phone number and email. And I'm going to show you a list. So today, guys, I picked up a listing, a FSBO that I got from my cards, and it's in Haines City, Florida. She lives in a small subdivision of condos. And so what I did is I came back to this software today, and I went ahead and pulled every homeowner in her area that had a 40% equity that had lived in it for 5 years. And here's what it returned. Check this out, guys. This list is called Greenleaf, which is the subdivision she's in. Here's the list, but I want to show you something. There's their emails. Okay, I've got about 80% emails. There's their phone. I've got 2 different phone numbers, 3 phone numbers, 4. I've got 5 phone numbers, and it's telling me if it's vacant or not. All of these, they're living in it, so I don't have to worry. These properties, they're living there. And it's giving me just tons of information. It's got equity, how much they own on the home. All of it's right there. 29 people. Guys, it cost me, are you ready for this? It cost me $2.97 or just under $3 for me to get all of their information. So what am I going to do with this? They're going to get an email from me this weekend because I'm going to put the home live either tonight or in the morning. It will be live in the MLS. I did pictures today. The first email they get from me won't be a come list me. Hey, my name's Kelly. I wanted to let you know I just listed this home, and I'm going to put a link on the email to where they can go look at all the pictures and the pricing. And I'm probably going to say something like this. If you know anybody, family or friends that are looking to buy in this area, please let me know. This house is available to be shown, and I would love to facilitate that with anybody that you know, whether it's a family or friend that's looking to move in the same area that you guys are in. Also, if you guys are interested in learning what this home actually sells for, respond back to the email, and I will make sure that you will be the first email once we go into contract. And I'll even tell you what the contract, what it was for. And if you're thinking of selling in the next 12 months and you don't want to be pressured, but have that conversation, let's get together on a Zoom. I can share, there's my email, right? Then everybody in the list is going to get a direct mail card from me once a month, as long as I've got this home. So for the next 5 months, all 29 of those people are getting cards from me, and they're going to get emails from me. And I'm probably going to, if they respond to my emails, I'm probably going to text them as well. So there you go, guys. What a killer strategy. Here is a listing that I just took. Grabbed their data, got their email, got their phone. Now we're going with the trifecta of marketing: direct mail, email, phone call. And because I just took that listing, there's a tie-in with that community. You better believe on the postcard, I'm going to put a picture of that community on the postcard so that when they get my postcard, it'll have their first name on it and it'll have a picture of where they live. I'm going to get some people calling me. So guys, I just wanted to share that with you. This one right here, again, Remind, $200 a month. If you have it in your subscription, fantastic. You have no monthly fee on it, but it won't do a lot of what this company will do. If you guys are interested in this, I've got a free trial. It's $39 a month for what you just saw me do. And then you pay like 12 to 14 cents per lead to get all the information. If you're interested, just say yes, and I'll drop it on the chat. You guys can do the 7-day free trial and go get you some information with regard to pulling this type of data on all of your marketing. Guys, expired listings, phone numbers, emails, free and clear, people that own the property, people that are absentee, pre-foreclosures. The sky's the limit with your marketing. But the 2 areas, and then I'm done talking. I'll take any questions. The 2 areas that I would love to see you guys start to concentrate on are going to be absentee homeowners and pre-foreclosures. So that's it. I told you guys 30 minutes, man. I was going to do this training quick. I'm going to quit sharing my screen, and I'm interested to see if anybody has any questions. I will go ahead, and between Bryan and William, we'll see if we can answer any of those questions for you. But these are really, really good niches for you guys to go after and crush.
So it looks like Jim Neal would like a link from you, Kelly.
I'll do it right now.
So you guys, Kelly does have an affiliate with this, but it is something that he is using. So he'll be sharing an affiliate link with you guys, just full disclosure. But no, this is absolutely exciting. the ability to be able to gather that information at a lower cost than Remind, PropStream, Property Radar, amazing. Yeah, it's awesome to be able to gather that data at a lower cost. And the skip tracing at 12 cents a piece, I've never seen a platform that was that low in cost for skip tracing on lead data, because that's going to go and cross-reference and make sure that you guys have accurate emails. It's going to make sure that you guys have accurate phone numbers, or at least it's going to be the most up-to-date is what's available out there online. Really awesome. Yeah, no. So Sue, this program starts at $39 a month, and you can get names and addresses. But if you want the emails and the phone numbers, it's 12 cents per person that you're going after. So that's going to be the difference. The emails and the phone numbers aren't included, but it's only 12 cents per person to gather those. So it's fairly inexpensive to get all of that information to farm a particular market. And when you can upload skip traced, more up-to-date phone numbers into Facebook, that gives you a better audience to start with when you're targeting on Facebook as well, which is really, really exciting. So that's one of the main reasons we brought Kelly in to do this training, because he showed this platform to us just a couple of days ago. And my jaw dropped when I saw it, because this is an awesome opportunity for everybody to win more listings through detailed and accurate data as far as how you're targeting your leads. So,
and guys, think about it this way. For every 500 leads that you skip trace, so let's say you find 500 in your county that are absentee, wouldn't you want to be marketing to them? It's $60 and you own all the data. You import that into Mailbox Power if you have it, and now you start them on a 5-month campaign of cards. Then you take that data and import it into your CRM. If you're using leads to ROI, you import that data in. If you, whatever CRM you're using, you import that into your CRM. And now, guys, that's how you're going to crush it, because you've got multi-touches. We always say that it takes between 8 and 12 touches to get an appointment. Guys, think about it. Within 2 months, you've got 2 cards out, 8 to 10 emails out. And if you want, text them or phone call them. Guys, that's how you're going to get appointments. But absentee homeowners, 500 of them runs me $60. And then, so if I get that data this month, next month, I'm going to pull every freaking pre-foreclosure, right? They're going to get a postcard every week from me. They're going to get phone calls from me. And let's say there's 300 pre-foreclosures. Well, 300, we're talking $29 for all of that data, the phone numbers, the emails. So I think you guys see where I'm going with that. It comes down to what your budget is and what your marketing looks like with regard to how you're reaching out to these leads. Anybody want to unmute yourself? Have questions?
Yeah, how does Remind compare with batch leads?
I've used both, Jim. You followed me for a long time. I don't use Remind anymore. I do train on it, because if it's free, the lesser of two evils. But the data, when I've uploaded the data, let me put it this way: the CRM that I'm using, I've got 2 or 3 CRMs. I've got leads to ROI, but I don't put leads into leads to ROI until I check them out somewhere else. I put them in another CRM from Remind. And they shut me down for a day because they got a bunch of bounce backs. So a lot of that data wasn't really 100%. The thing I liked about batch is I'm getting 1 or 2 columns. They're separating the emails per column for me. And there's only 2 columns of emails. When you go to Remind, you can have one of the lines on the Excel sheet with 8 to 10 emails. So now you got to go figure out how to separate all that out. And then which of those 8 to 10 are the ones I want to use. So, I mean, I don't know if that helps you or not, but for the price, you figure if you're spending $200 a month on, if you don't have Remind, for about half of that, you could be using, somebody mentioned PropStream. Bryan, you might want to speak to PropStream, because I've had it, but I didn't really use it. So I don't know how to really kind of teach and train on how it fares. But it comes down to data, Jim, and it's very inexpensive. You can figure your budget could be $100 a month to use it and get the data. And that's like every month you're getting new data.
How does the data compare though with Remind? Are you getting more information from them? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because Remind,
I found it to be easier, Jim. It comes down to ease of use too. I've used both. I've used Remind, and now I'm using this one. Sure. And it's month to month, so it's not like you're committing to something long term. But again, it comes down to your marketing. Like, what do you want to do in your marketing? So Bryan, prop stream. You've had that. What are your thoughts?
I thought PropStream was a really good platform and it gave solid data, but it's got a little bit higher cost. And so there was a limitation. I have to take a look into it again, but I believe you were limited to 10,000 downloads per month, which a lot of these platforms, you'll see that exact same thing with. But there was also an additional cost. I'm actually going to pull them back up so I can take a look at what their current pricing is.
And
everything
Bryan,
else.
did PropStream give them the emails, or did they also have to have an additional fee to get emails and phone numbers? Because I don't remember getting that in PropStream.
I believe that it did, but let me check. So includes online and mobile app, nationwide property data, 120 plus lead filters, country or county records, MLS comps, 10K property downloads per month. That was the part about it that I didn't like, was the 10K property downloads per month. We want to be able to pull as much data as humanly possible. So we used to be able to do that with Property Radar. Sorry, you guys, I had like 5 million homeowners that I was tracking and data that I had pulled for clients, and Property Radar actually called me and told me that they were making changes to their system because of what I was doing and pulling data for our clients. So now they do actually have a stop in place where you can only get 10,000 people per month. That was the biggest downside that I saw to it, was that you could only do 10,000 per month. Now, if you're farming your area and you're doing, if you're farming your geo area and you're sending out direct mailers, you're not going to be sending out more than likely 10,000 mailers per month. That's going to be a pretty high cost. So, I mean, the big thing that it boils down to is, Kelly, what did your list just cost you that you purchased?
$3
with skip tracing.
$3.
Okay, that was for 25 people, right?
29.
So if it's 10 cents per, and we have a limit of 10,000 on property, on PropStream, let's just go ahead and do some math. 0.12. So it's actually fairly expensive, right? So that's $1,200 for 10,000 if you're pulling all of that data. But if you're pulling 500, you're looking at a much lower cost.
And you know what?
$60.
I had a coach tell me one time, it's not, an agent. And let me just say this to you guys that are still with us on this call. You don't need 10,000 freaking leads a month. You're not going to be able to deal with that. This is my personal opinion. You need to get the most targeted leads and try to keep it between 100 and maybe 500 a month, but you've got to be able to have systems in play to handle that, because getting a lead in and just having it sit there and it go nowhere and does nothing is a complete waste of time, and it frustrates you. And then you start spending all this money for shiny objects and never get a listing, never get a closing. So what I say is go after the most targeted leads. Right now, that's absentee homeowners, FSBOs, expireds, and pre-foreclosures. And by the way, we're going to talk about FSBOs today. But if you're not working FSBOs right now, you are sorely mistaken. Guys, FSBOs over the last 9 months to a year were selling like this without a realtor because the market was crazy. Like buyers were finding FSBOs on Zillow and calling them, right? So these FSBOs were selling like crazy, and it was a little difficult for us to list FSBOs because they were like, God, I don't need you. I've got 50 people looking at my homes right now. But here's what's going on. In the last 4 weeks, FSBO prices have stagnated and dropped a little bit nationally, and they're staying on market longer, which is the point of frustration and pain for the FSBO, because if they stay on market for 30 days, they're going to be talking to an agent. So you need to be working FSBOs as well. Anyway, side topic, Bryan. I'm sorry.
No worries. So PropStream also provides skip tracing at 12 cents. So it's the same cost that you're looking at for skip tracing. When it comes down to the data that they provide on the homeowner, so the ownership information, it shows owner type, owner mailing address, ownership length, number of properties owned, out of state, out of country owner, and then linked properties. So they aren't displaying that they do provide you with the name, phone number, email on those contacts. And then a little bit farther down, it shows contact property owners where you can text, call, email, all that good stuff. And when I actually click on that, it pulls us directly into skip tracing. So you guys, if you're looking at two different products, apples to apples, you've got the same cost per lead, or per, I'm not going to call these leads, but per per person that you're putting into your audience at 12 cents per skip tracing. But the batch leads gives you the ability to, for $40 a month, $39.99, you can do up to 100,000, right, Kelly?
I believe that's what they said.
So you can go into your geographical farm area and you can farm your entire area and get names and addresses at minimum. And for the areas and locations or neighborhoods that you really want to pinpoint and target, you can then go and do the skip tracing on those particular neighborhoods. And then you can run the ads, upload that audience into Facebook, run ads directly to those individuals, all of that good stuff. And Facebook even works off of first and last name. And it works pretty well if you have a zip code that's included. So you're actually going to get that data right out of the gate when you download it directly from batch leads. So I just think it's important for everybody to know that the major difference is just about $60 in monthly cost between PropStream and batch leads. And we'll definitely keep you guys more updates on this platform, because Kelly and I are actually going to spend some time together, and we're going to build out a couple of different unique lists for you guys to download as part of our marketing strategies that we're going to be putting out over the next couple of months for you guys, so that you can capitalize on the shift in the market and make sure that you guys are seeing the highest level of listings and the highest level of buyers represented for closings. So we've got some really cool stuff coming with Remine and with this particular platform, Batch Leads, to help teach you guys how to dominate your local marketplaces. Cost is about the same as PropStream, but you can download way more data every single month. And again, you guys, you can use first name, last name, and zip code to pinpoint your audience on Facebook as well. It doesn't just have to be a phone number or an email. Of course, it's better with those, but Facebook does a really good job finding people based off of zip and first and last name as well. So I think it's definitely worth your guys as well to take a look at the platform. And then William and I are actually, because of the amount of data that we can pull for so little, William and I are actually talking behind the scenes about potentially just setting up one of the 2 million download accounts. But we're going to run some testing on it. And if it all works out and the platform does exactly what we want it to do, we'll offer that out as something for you guys to be able to get that data at a discounted rate through us. So awesome stuff.
Well, that's what I brought to everybody today. So, we're on here now. Before we get done, does anybody have a question, even if it's not about what we talked about? What's going on in your area? Do you have a problem? Is there something you've run across that you could use maybe a second opinion on? This is really a good time to do it, guys. Just unmute yourself, hit us with a question. We're either going to help answer it or we're going to get back to you.
It looks like Stacia asked who has the most accurate data. I mean, that is definitely the most important piece, Stacia. When cost isn't a question, it's definitely the most important one to have, is the accurate data. What it boils down to is, if you're utilizing skip tracing, those skip tracing softwares go and comb the interwebs, and they'll go, okay, this is this individual, this address, and then they go and find all the unique data points that you can find on somebody out there. I don't know if you guys have ever gone to Scipio, or not Scipio. What is it, like TrueSearch.com or something like that? Spokio. There's a ton of them where you can actually go and search and find a ridiculous amount of information on anyone that you want to look up. That's what these skip tracing softwares are doing. They're going and pulling that data from the interwebs and just bringing it into an Excel spreadsheet so that you can access that data. And that's why you have to pay for it. And if you go to Spokio, or if you go to, I think it is, the other one is called TrueSearch. I don't know. I went on there and removed my info from them because it was like, it's scary how much someone can find out about you. I mean, they can get your address.
I kept having Dog the Bounty Hunter trying to find me, and that scared me.
Oh yeah, you're gonna drag him down by his mullet.
Yeah. So the other thing that I would do, Brian, I was just thinking about this. For those of you that live in a neighborhood and you're geofarming your neighborhood, wouldn't it be nice to take a software like this, go into your neighborhood, draw a radius around the neighborhood, and extract everybody that you want to market to via email? Check this out. Upload that into Facebook and run a video to your neighborhood twice a month. Hey guys, this is Kelly. You probably see me walking my dog. I live here at Acme Subdivision. And I just wanted you to know, blah, 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 blah. Golly, who's doing that?
That's about as detailed targeting as it gets.
That's gangster.
That is gangster.
Anyway.
Hey, what are you all hearing
Twice a month.
with the market shift?
Kelly, you probably, Cindy, welcome my dog. I live here at Acme subdivision. And
Why do we have an echo going on?
Sorry, I
that's
just
really
turned-
weird.
Oh, you on YouTube as well, Jim?
Yeah, it was.
See, Jim likes
Hey,
what I
keep-
say. I'm like EF Hutton to Jim. He wants to hear me twice. So Jim, the market shifting there. Listen, here's the problem. You have to be aware of what's going on quarterly. I think we are in for, and Bryan and I were talking about it, I don't want to be a doom and gloom, but I think we are. This is why I wanted to bring today's training to you, because I think as agents, we have to scale back on being broad and focus in on becoming niche specific and dominating that niche, because there's shifts going on. Guys, interest rates are at 6%. They could go higher. They're saying this could be around for the next 9 months or more. Could be more. Housing prices. I think we're in for a rude awakening. I think we're going to start to see housing prices come down. Now that's good for people like me looking to buy, but it's bad for homeowners because it's going, and everybody that bought when it was high, they're going to start to see a shift where they're losing value. So interest rates being high, the housing market's, unsteady. I think we're in for a rough ride over the next 6 to 12 months. Bryan?
I mean, I kind of look at it this way. I mean, there's so many armchair economists out there that if you go out there and you research it, you've got one person that's saying we're doom and gloom, everything's going to crash, it's the end of the world, the sky's falling. You watch the next person and they break it down and tell you that everything's going to be just fine and we're going to continue on the same path that we're going. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you guys what's going to happen with the market, but with the increase in rates, I definitely can see in the slowdown, I could definitely see a price correction that could be coming. And that's based on a lot of data points that I've looked at. But again, you guys, I'm not an economist. But one thing that I think about with this is, what about the folks that have bought homes in the past 5 years, just got to a position to where they were off their PMI because they finally got their DTI where it needed, or not their DTI, their LTV on their loan where it needs to be because their home value continues to increase. Well, if we see a decrease in that market, those folks are now back into a PMI position again, where they're having to pay that primary mortgage insurance. And we have inflation as far as record highs right now, 8.1% on our food and groceries that we purchase. Gasoline is through the roof. I mean, the average American has an additional probably $200 in expense just in food and gasoline for their household right now. So the effects that we're going to see from everything that's going on, I feel that there is going to be a shift and that we are going to see prices begin to correct. But again, you guys, I don't want to go out there and say, hey, this is exactly what it's going to be, because I don't have a crystal ball and I can't tell you guys what's going to happen tomorrow. But it definitely looks like that is a possibility. I don't know, what are you seeing where you're at, Jim?
It's already happened here. Inventory is ramping up on a daily basis, which is interesting because we're at the end of our season, is what we call it.
Yeah. You guys just got out of your hot season.
Yeah, absolutely. Days on market are extending. Price points are starting to reduce. I mean, I priced my listing, I priced it good for what the house is, but he wanted to reduce it really quick. We did. We've had a ton of activity and a couple of lower offers, but nothing that he wanted to take, and I agreed with him. So just starting to see quite a bit, actually. And what I'm curious about is it happening up north? Is it happening in other states? Because whatever happens up there this summer will affect what we do our next season, which is November to March of next year.
Merlene in New York said that she just got a buyer into a house with only 4 offers.
Yeah.
She went through 4 offers and got a buyer into a house. So that's an indicator that New York's making the shift.
Yeah.
What
Again,
about
Bryan, that's what I'm telling
Stacia?
people.
Stacia, you're over in California, so completely opposite side of the country. And I don't know if you can unmute or not, but if you can, I'm curious. Are you seeing similar things to what Jim and Kelly are seeing, or are things a little different in California?
No, we're seeing less offers. We're seeing more days on market. We're not seeing big price reductions yet, but I think, with the days on market growing, we're going to see some price reductions here at some point.
That's why I'm saying get very specific right now, guys, with who you're marketing to. Luxury buyers. I would be finding a list of everybody in your county that makes over $250K a year that's renting. If you want to work with buyers, that's who you want to work with. Absentee homeowners, pre-foreclosures, people with a lot of equity, with multiple years in the home. If you want to see what's really going on in your market, here's how you can see what Jim was talking about, what Bryan was talking about, what Stacia did, and what I did. Go into your MLS today. Find every home that sold 3 months ago to 6 months ago. So take everything sold 3 months ago to 6 months. Look at list price versus sold price and how many days on market. Look at that list and then pull a list, email that to you so you have it. Then go ahead and look at everything active and sold in the last 30 days. Take a look at days on market. Take a look at what they sold for versus what they listed for. And you're going to see there is a difference from 6 months ago. And that's how you can stay on top of your market. I would be looking at that once every 2 weeks on my MLS. Pull everything that's active and pending and look how long they've been active. Look how long they've been pending. How long were they pending before they went active? And then what was the list price versus, well, you can't until it goes sold, but once it sells, track those and see what they sold for versus what they were listed for. And you will see a snapshot so that you won't be surprised at what's going on. And then when you have your listing presentation, you can let them know, guys, this is what's happened in the market. Here's data from 6 months ago. Here's data from today. So that, you can forestall any of the crazy, like, I want to sell my $200,000 home for $1 million. Are you the realtor for me? Right? You can give them predictive data that is reflecting the current market. So that's how you can do it as an agent.
I mean, one thing that this really makes me think about right now, and if everybody's experiencing the same thing around the nation, and we're starting to see a slowdown, we're getting less offers, more days on market, inventory is increasing. That's one of those things that I would actually use a little tiny bit of fear in my marketing, because it's the truth. I would use that FOMO, the fear of missing out. I would do a video that had a parabola behind me, just a curve, and then I would put at the very top of the parabola at the point, I would put "you are here," and I would discuss what's going on in the local market and what these effects may have here in the near future, and utilize the fact that this may be the top of the market for you to sell your home and cash out with the absolute most equity that you can. Now, again, none of us have a crystal ball. We don't know whether the market's going to go up, down, sideways, but from these indicators, it really looks like we're going to see a correction. And I think that that's something that I would absolutely put in front of potential homeowners that may have been thinking about selling over the last couple of years, but decided not to because of how crazy everything has been. Even if they were to sell their house and rent for a year, they're still going to be massively profitable versus waiting for things to go down and to lose value on their homes. So what do you think, Jim? Is that an ad that you'd want to run?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep, for sure.
Hey guys, right now, I'd recommend everybody to get in front of their phones. Get your cell phone out in front of you. If you're using a gimbal, use that gimbal, but get your phone out in front of you. Take a look at your local market stats, just like Kelly said, and go ahead and do a video on that, telling everybody what's going on in the local market, and what you feel they could expect going forward. Now, again, say that it's what you feel. Don't say that it's an absolute or anything along those lines. But these are my thoughts and my opinions based off of what I can see on the data is going to happen. And I would recommend that if you were thinking about selling your home over the last 2 years, now is the time to do it so that you can be sure to acquire top dollar for that property and not lose out on any additional funds that you can put into your pocket. So, any other questions on the day before we wrap up? William, you got anything to add?
Nope. Great training. I'm excited on the data. Thank you very much,
We love
Kelly.
data. We're just a couple of nerds that love data.
Yeah, I think that's going to bring in some awesome angles for us to take for direct mail and generating some more listings.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Kelly,
Yeah, buddy.
you get my email earlier?
How earlier? Let me check. I'll let you know. Oh, yes, I did. I just haven't looked at it yet.
Okay,
I'll look at it tonight.
okay, and then holler at me.
You got it, my friend.
All right, thanks.
Awesome,
All right.
everybody. Well, if we don't have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and close out the Zoom. Kelly, you got any final thoughts?
Nope, I think that's it. And guys, if you want any of the Remind training, just email William or Bryan, and they will send you the YouTube videos we have on Remind. For those of you that have it inside of your MLS, I mean, it is a good resource, so it doesn't cost you anything to use it. But if you want to take advantage, make sure you grab that link that I gave you and get the free trial on the other one and compare both of them. But at the end of the day, he or she with the best data wins.
That's right. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We